Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Campbell Now News. I'm Joshua Davis. We're going to go ahead and get into things tonight, starting with the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. The United Nations recently said that roughly 70,000 people in the Bahamas need food and shelter in the wake of Hurricane Dorian. The death toll increased as well. As of now, there are 45 known victims of Hurricane Dorian. The destruction is so great that some people are now calling this a humanitarian crisis. Officials are still searching debris from the storm, trying to locate any of the hundreds of people missing. According to CBS News, many Bahamians are frustrated with the government calling their response slow. Agencies in both the Bahamas as well as the U.S. have since stepped in to offer aid where it's needed. The City of Miami, World Central Kitchen, the Humane Society of the United States, Save the Children, and more are all offering their help to those affected by Dorian. It's possible to learn more on their websites. Hurricane Dorian recently swept across the eastern seaboard, wreaking havoc on towns, cities, and beaches that were once refuge to tourists and natives alike. With winds of up to 90 miles per hour and 6-foot water surges, people found themselves trapped in attics and stranded on rooftops, trying to escape the water. Efforts by the Coast Guard and local law enforcement of Ocracoke Island helped those trapped on roofs and in attics, carrying them away to temporary housing on the mainland. In one such rescue, a 79-year-old man was rescued from his home on Ocracoke Island and taken to a temporary shelter because of the severe flooding in the area. No deaths or serious injuries were reported due directly to the destruction of Hurricane Dorian. Dorian slowly moved north, veering further and further away from the United States and back out to sea, leaving little to fear for the northeastern states. We'll be back with more after this. Staying in North Carolina, President Trump is holding a rally today in Fayetteville after surveying hurricane damage in our state. The president joined Governor Cooper for a tour along the coast where some homes suffered extensive damage. President Trump's visit also comes before a special election in our state that's attracting the eyes of the nation this week. Tuesday, voters in the 9th Congressional District go back to the polls to elect a representative. They'll choose either Democrat Dan McCready or Republican Dan Bishop. Bishop is a state senator and attorney. McCready is an Iraq war veteran who owns a financial firm in Charlotte. In 2018, McCready narrowly lost Republican Mark Harris, but an investigation later revealed a ballot fraud scheme designed to help the Republican. The results were thrown out and the special election was called. The 9th Congressional District winds along the southern part of the state from Charlotte east toward Bladen County. The president is expected to use tonight's event to throw his support to Bishop. Vice President Mike Pence is also courting voters in Charlotte. The 9th Congressional District has been held by the Republicans for the past 56 years. Returning back to Campbell, there's plenty that's happening on and off campus. Ellington Studios, a music school out of Anger, is presenting Rocktoberfest. Performances include Ellington Studios' best travel bands and adult bands. Ages range from as young as elementary school musicians to more experienced adults. 3 of the travel bands have recently written and released their own singles and are now available on iTunes, Spotify, and all other streaming platforms. Rocktoberfest will consist of varying genres of music from classic and southern rock to old school favorites. Admission requires a $10 donation that supports the students of the studio. Gates open at 2 p.m. on October 5th. And finally, you have a way to be a positive influence in your community this week. The Campbell University School of Law is hosting a blood drive Wednesday afternoon. The event runs from 12 noon until 5 o'clock that afternoon. The law school is located on Hillsborough Street in downtown Raleigh. Just look up the Blood Connection website for more information. Of course, Wednesday is the 18th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks in New York, D.C., and Pennsylvania. And thank you for joining us tonight on Campbell Now News. I'm Joshua Davis. You can get more Campbell Now News on Wednesday nights as well as college sports Tuesday morning. See you next week, Camels.